Freida McFadden, The Boyfriend. Who else thinks that Freida McFadden one of the best thrillers after? I think so. I read some of her books before and I really enjoyed it. You know the time when you're depressed and everything seems extremely bad and you understood that yes, that's exactly the time to read about murders and psychos. My husband don't understand how it's possible when you feel extremely bad to read these kind of books. He usually tried to give me some humor books or it was books about ships. And he just can't understand how it's possible when you feel bad and you want to read this psycho literature. Just let me know that I'm not alone here. And there's another people who likes read literature like this, and the more dark, crazy, and wild the book, then better, and then more faster you will recover from your condition. The book Boyfriend. I really enjoyed reading this book. It's easy to read, it's simple plot, it's unexpected twist, like really unexpected. I thought that it's supposed to be twist because Freida usually she makes some twists there and I had some ideas. But not that idea. Let's first talk what's going on in the book for those people who haven't read it. So we have a girl and her name is Sydney. She recently broke up with her boyfriend who is a cop, and the reason why they broke up just because he all the time working. Is not enough attention for her, so she decided to leave him and find a better guy. And she went already for the many dates and they all were not turned so good, and here she went to extremely bad date. The guy suggested to walk a little bit with her to her house so that it would be safety, but at the same time he is very creepy. And when they reach some random building and she convinced him that it's her house, he start force her for something more. Here show up some handsome guy and he saved her, but they didn't exchange the numbers. During next days, she continued thinking about that handsome guy, and also she met with her friends, Bonnie and Gretchen. They together attend yoga class. They know each other not so long time, around 1-2 years. With Bonnie, she even living in the same building. One day when Sydney showed up in the Bonnie's apartment, she found her killed, and before Bonnie was tortured. When Bonnie showed up, Sydney only can say that Bonnie dated some secret guy. She didn't want to talk about him, and they all know that he is doctor, and that's it. After Bonnie's funeral and after some months, Sydney again decided when to the date. She met with that handsome guy who saved her, and his name is Tom. They became closer to each other, they really like each other, and they start date. Sydney during all this time started growing suspicious because he lied about his job, about his name, and eventually she figured out that he has a burden phone. Also, she found Bonnie scratching in Tom's apartment, so she went to her ex-boyfriend, who is the cop, and explained all the situation. They bring Tom to police station and start to ask him questions, but he had alibi the whole night. He is working and there were a lot of cameras. After Bonnie's death, her friend Gretchen, she moved to her building also because she started dating with a guy whose name is Randy. He's a superior in the building. He usually helps fix some stuff in the building. He's kind of creepy guy, and even more, he has criminal records. Sydney has some suspicion, so probably it's Tom or Randy who is killed Bonnie, but she is not sure. And here she is in the apartment with Randy and Gretchen, and she found in the toilet the hair of other girls who were murdered. The truth, Gretchen actually killed all that girls. And here we have the story about Tom, about his childhood. When he was a little boy, he met with a girl and her name is Daisy. He wanted to be with her, but he didn't trust himself because he all the time has this thought that he wanted to cut her arms, her legs, and whatever else cut. He want to choke her. He has this psycho bloody thoughts. Daisy, she is a lovely girl who is like to help people, who has a good grades in the school, who is volunteering and do other good stuff. She is the daughter of the chief police, so she is absolutely innocent girl. And during all this time, we find out that there's Alison, one girl who is missing, and another was Brenda missing also. Everyone thought that it was Tom who killed these girls because with Alison he kissed. Brenda didn't like him a lot, so with both girls he had some kind of relationship. Tom thought that his friend Slug, he killed those girls, but eventually Tom realized that this innocent girl Daisy, she killed all these girls because she was jealous of Tom, and in the future she continued to kill all women who was contacted with her Tom. Daisy killed his best friend Slug, and they told to the police that it's Slug killed all these girls. Here we have a present time, and Gretchen tried to kill Sydney, but Tom protected her. So Tom and Gretchen, they escaped from the police, and Sydney returned to her ex-boyfriend, and they continue to live happy life. Now let's discuss the book. How I said before, I like how Freida writing everything, and I like how almost right away she got you on the hook. Freida in her books, she usually shows some interesting topics of what we probably haven't seen before. For example, date apps. Have you tried them? Have you not tried? How you find your boyfriend or husband, or how you going to find them? I have positive experience with dates apps. All dates where I went, they were very positive, very interesting people. So I enjoyed. And that's the way how I find my current husband. So for me, all these date apps was very helpful, and it was very interesting experience, I will say. What I want to make accent in this book is when Sydney meet with Kevin, right? This creepy date when she need to run. It's when Kevin only see Sydney. First phrase was, "You are the perfect woman." That's when you need run right away. That's a huge red flag. Man can't say that you're perfect woman in the first day because he doesn't know you. You can be extremely beautiful and everything, but if men say on the first date, in the first minute that you're perfect woman, that's something not right. Another moment what is kind of funny for me was that when Tom saved Sydney, and Sydney didn't ask his phone number, and next day she tried to find him everywhere where it's possible, and she thought, oh, it would be so nice to tell our future kids how we meet with their fathers, that he saved me. And I just thinking like, yeah, he saved you, and you started to be his stalker because she tried to find him everywhere, and I think it's not so much healthy here too. Again, I like how Freida talk about that huge problem. I think when you 30 something years old and you are single and you don't have children, you really want to have children and you really want to have family, but you're already 35, close to the 40, and you know that your watch already tick tock, and you need to do something, and you in the hurry, and you try to every night went to the new dates, and it can be dangerous, right? And how Sydney said that I'm not picky, I want already at least some random guy that he would be decent guy, and that's it. I think it's a huge problem in America because what I see here is mostly girls with the dogs. It's not so many girls with the children, with a husband, but mostly with dogs, and that's kind of strange for me to see, right? Because I will grow in the different environment where it's not so much dogs but more kids. Scientists already started to scream that here we have a demographic crisis because it's less and less kids in our world, and if it would be less and less kids, it will mean that we will have harder life, so that we will have kind of easy life. I mean, at least easier what we have now. Supposed to be statistic of the birth higher than statistic of the death, and unfortunately in the world we have a very unhappy statistic, and now we have a higher statistic of the death than of the birth. So that's of course not so good. And I see how it is, right? Because how we'll think that first we need to do career, first we need to find a good job, to be independent, and afterwards to find a guy. And that's a kind of mistake, like for me, in an area you find a guy then better, right? It could be a mistake, but better to try, because when you independent, when you 30 plus years old, when you have good job. So for sure, you even wouldn't look for the guy who has small wage or who doesn't look so good, especially when you do sport and you try to be healthy and everything. You wouldn't look for those kind of men. Then older you become, then more picky you are. And when you already have career and you're independent and blah blah blah, man who is single is much less. And man's guy and he's 20 years old, he also doesn't have so many thoughts how it's supposed to be his future wife, right? It's something simple usually. And for the girl 20 years old, it's usually something simple about guy, how he's supposed to be. And when you both 35, 40 years old, you both already start to look different for each other. It's already important. Have you been married or no? Do you have children or no? Do you have pets or no? What is your habits? What is not your habits? Because in the 20 years old, you don't think what is other person his habits, because whatever he has habits, we will deal with this, right? But in the 35, you already don't think so. You already think about how much salary he has, what is his plans for the future, right? Because in 20 years, you don't think about plans for the future because you have whole life and some way you will deal with all of this stuff. So that's the point, that when you're 35 years, you already has a huge list, and probably you think that you are not picky and you just need decent guy, and usually it's not like this. Probably on the time you already have dog or someone else of it and you happy, and you're just thinking, for what I need another man if I'm perfectly fine how I am now, and I have money, I have everything, right? I have a kids, but I mean, even now actually it's not such a big deal. We have already technology and medicine and everything that even to have children without men, right? So of course it's advantage with this, but in the same time it's kind of sad, I would say. I would say that in general, in some way, it's sad to see how we became more and more introverts. And I'm introverted in some way too. Before I was extrovert, and now I'm introvert, right? Because when I meet with some people, I understood of that friendship, love relationship, family relationship is all stress, right? Because you need to find compromises, you need to be flexible, you need to do a lot of stuff, and everything of this. It's very hard, and probably even more simple way to be alone, right? That nobody made a headache for you. It is true, I'm totally understand it. In some way I support it, but in some way I understood that probably I need to change something, right? Because we in general is social creature, and depression and all of other bad stuff what has happened with us, probably it would be more easy if we would have more people, right? Some of them would be supportive, some would be less supportive, but in general, in our nature, we are social creatures, so we probably need to think more about this. And here in the book, actually, was another interesting moment when Cindy started dating with Tom, and Tom is extremely perfect man, right? Everything is really good, and she has this question: what's wrong with him? Why he is 40 years old and still single, right? And I understood that many women they usually have this question, and I understood that I usually don't have this question when it's like 40, 50 years old man and he's single. I understood that probably he just like to be single, right? Because I know that like many men, and not even men, we are used to be alone. We used to be independent. We used to care only about ourselves. We became in some way selfish, right? Because when you're alone, you start more pay attention for yourself. So that's the way how you become more selfish and you have struggles live with others. The easiest way is live alone, and maybe at the beginning you will feel uncomfortable, but eventually you do this. So if it's man and he's 40 years old and he's single, probably he changed his mind, right? And he wants a family. Maybe he built some career and he wanted first to have house, to have a good job, and afterwards to find a woman and have children, right? It's everything take a lot of time, of course. So I'm actually now have a question why 40 years old woman or man they're single, because it's going to be like many reasons, and it's not necessary that it's something wrong with him or her. Sydney, she met with this perfect guy, Tom, and she is just like, why he is so perfect? It's not exist perfect people. It's no one is perfect. And I think the most important at the beginning of the relationship, during the relationship, more concentrate for the flaws than for advantages. No matter how person try to hide of them, usually if he became angry or tired or stressed, he usually show all of his minuses. You just need to be a little bit more tricky to shake your guy. And then no matter how good actor he is, he will show all what's wrong with him. It even doesn't matter if it's abuser or no. It can be just a healthy relationship. This is possible, right? I don't believe in the healthy relationship. I think every relationship has some damages, or they will have it, and more important, how you can accept it or no, or maybe fix, all right? But fix it's hard. It's not for me, for sure. So it's more accept or not accept, right? If you have some stress and you don't understand what's going on, but you also have stress and everything you need to write. If you understand that it's something wrong all the time, for example, you have stress, you right away open your notebooks and write everything what it happened with all your emotions right away, because after a couple hours it would be already different picture. And after another fight and another fight and another fight, you need to write absolutely everything how it was with all your emotions, with everything what has happened. When you writing every time like this, then you can read, and then it would be much clear situation what's going on and what is the source of your stress. Sometimes we know what is the problem, but we do absolutely nothing with this. Better know what's going on than to be in the dark. I thought to talk what's wrong with the book, that it's not so accurate, right? It's what is the minus of the book, what is the plus of the book, but I think that I will skip it, right? And I prepare actually a huge list of this, but I think I will skip it because for me in the book was most important that it's entertainment book, because thriller, romantic fantasy, some humor books, detectives, we all read of them that just like spend a good time. That's the main goal of the book, and I spent extremely good time with this book, and it's everything what I expect from this book. It's a really good twist, it's a really good murders. A really good character, so everything was fine. Of course, there you can find many questions to the book, and I did it. Now I just realized that it's not important. It's totally not important because I have fun to read this book. It's a really good book. Freida is an excellent author, what I think, and the most important that she shows us some problems, and most important that she shows some problems of what we probably haven't think before, or probably we didn't make accent of that problems, and that is great. And I will continue explore Freida's world, and maybe I will find a book of what I don't like. Potentially I like thrillers, I like detectives, I like all kind of books, and if I like authors, usually authors as they're writing kind of the same, and if you already start to like some books of the author, you will continue like others book of that author, right? So thank you that you've been with me, and see you on my next video and next book. Ciao.